New pain, that's a quarter of profit. I'm strapping in the longest, but a new bag makes a new mission. New pad, so I trap in a new kitchen. Sawing the dew glisten.
Imagine waking up in pain every single day. Your joints are swollen. Your nerves feel like live wires. Your body refuses to rest. Now imagine, the only medicine that truly helped you is suddenly gone. This is what a global marijuana shortage could mean for millions of people, because for them, cannabis isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's a lifeline. Medical marijuana is used to treat a wide range of conditions: chronic pain, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, PTSD, and the side effects of cancer treatment. Take epilepsy, for example. CBD, one of the main compounds in cannabis, has drastically reduced seizures in children who didn't respond to any other drugs. And for cancer patients, THC can be the only thing that helps them eat, sleep, and keep fighting. If the supply disappeared, many patients would be forced back onto older medications, opioids, antidepressants, sedatives, and that comes with serious risks, side effects, dependency, even overdose. The shortage wouldn't just be inconvenient, it could be dangerous, even life-threatening. In recent years, doctors have learned how to tailor cannabis treatments, specific strains, dosages, and delivery methods to fit each condition. A global shortage would halt that progress. Research would stall, patients would lose access to personalized care, clinics and hospitals would scramble to adjust, and many wouldn't have good alternatives. And the ripple effects? Massive. Insurance costs could rise. Patients might need more surgeries, more hospital visits, more emergency care, all because a natural, plant-based medicine was no longer available. But it's not just physical. For many, veterans, chronic illness sufferers, trauma survivors, cannabis offers mental peace, stability, and control. Take that away, and the emotional fallout could be just as severe as the physical one. These patients fought hard for access to medical marijuana. They challenged stigma, changed laws, and shared their stories. To lose this now wouldn't just hurt, it would feel like betrayal, because for them, this isn't just about relief, it's about dignity. A world without medical marijuana? For millions, it's not just unthinkable, it's unsustainable. This medicine matters, and protecting access to it matters even more. The legal cannabis industry is booming. From farms to dispensaries, from labs to packaging plants, it fuels a multi-billion-dollar economy. But what if the world ran out of weed? A global marijuana shortage wouldn't just hit recreational users, it would shake entire economies. Jobs would vanish, businesses would close, governments would lose tax revenue, and the ripple effect? Much bigger than most people realize. Let's start with jobs. In the US alone, the legal cannabis industry supports over 400,000 full-time positions, more than the coal industry. Cultivators, budtenders, chemists, delivery drivers, marketers, all suddenly out of work. Entire communities, especially those that invested in cannabis as an economic lifeline, would be left in financial freefall. Now think about small businesses, dispensaries, grow operations, cannabis cafes. They don't just employ people, they support local economies. A shortage would mean mass closures, unpaid rents, and bankruptcies across sectors. And for many of these businesses, there's no plan B. And what about the governments? States like California, Colorado, and Illinois rake in hundreds of millions in cannabis tax revenue every year. That money funds schools, infrastructure, public health programs. Without it, budgets get tighter, services get cut, people suffer. Even beyond direct sales, cannabis fuels an entire ecosystem: packaging companies, lab testing facilities, software platforms, real estate, even tourism. Cannabis-themed festivals, hotels, and tours attract millions. A global shortage would slam the brakes on all of it. Then there's the investment world. Billions have been poured into cannabis startups, tech, and infrastructure. If marijuana vanished overnight, so would the returns. Stock markets would react, investors would lose faith, and confidence in the entire green economy could collapse. And here's the kicker: the underground market might thrive again. With legal supply gone, demand doesn't disappear, it just shifts. Criminal networks could regain control, bringing back the risks that legalization had worked so hard to reduce. A marijuana shortage wouldn't just be a supply issue, it would be an economic earthquake, felt in every corner of the industry, and far beyond. The green economy isn't just a trend, it's a pillar, and without it, things could fall apart fast. What happens when a massive demand meets a sudden shortage? In the case of marijuana, the answer is clear. When the legal supply runs dry, the illegal market comes back to life, and fast. For decades, cannabis prohibition fueled a powerful underground industry. From cartel-run operations to small-scale street dealers, the black market thrived in the absence of legal access. Legalization was meant to fix that, and in many places, it did. But a global marijuana shortage could undo all that progress. If legal dispensaries can't meet demand, users, both recreational and medical, will look elsewhere. And where there's money to be made, the black market fills the gap. Illicit grow operations could surge again, sidestepping regulations, taxes, and safety standards. The result? Unregulated, potentially dangerous products, and a spike in law enforcement challenges. There's also the risk of substitution. Without access to cannabis, some users may turn to more harmful alternatives, like synthetic cannabinoids, unregulated vape cartridges, or even harder drugs. These substances are often cheaper to produce and easier to distribute underground, but far more dangerous. We could also see a revival of smuggling routes, cross-border trafficking, hidden shipments, organized crime networks all regaining strength. Where legalization weakened the grip of criminal enterprises, a shortage could re-empower them, and that has serious implications for public safety and national security. Law enforcement, already stretched thin, could find themselves back in a familiar position, raiding illegal grow sites, cracking down on dealers, and trying to police a substance that the public largely sees as mainstream or medicinal. It's a step backward, one that wastes resources and deepens distrust. And let's not forget the global angle. In countries where cannabis is still illegal, black markets have never gone away. A global shortage could boost prices worldwide, incentivizing production in areas where enforcement is weak and corruption is high. It could become a new international drug trade hotspot. Meanwhile, patients who depend on medical marijuana might be forced to turn to underground suppliers, risking contaminated products and legal consequences, just to access something that once came from a pharmacy. A shortage of legal marijuana doesn't make the demand disappear, it just pushes it into the shadows, and in that darkness, the old problems come back, bigger than ever. What happens when the world runs out of a plant with billions of dollars in demand, but no legal way to meet it? A marijuana shortage wouldn't just cause panic, it would ignite a race for innovation, for solutions, for survival. Cannabis is more than a recreational drug, it's a high-value crop, a pharmaceutical resource, and an industrial commodity. A shortage would send shockwaves through the agricultural and scientific communities, but it would also spark an urgent wave of research, engineering, and bio-innovation. On the agricultural front, the shortage would likely trigger a global scramble to develop new, more resilient strains. Scientists and farmers would explore gene editing, hydroponic systems, and vertical farming to speed up growth and increase yields. Countries with the right climate and infrastructure might treat cannabis like gold, pouring resources into rapid cultivation. Research labs would pivot hard. Botanists would search for cannabis relatives or analogs, plants with similar chemical profiles or medicinal properties. Biotechnologists might even attempt to recreate cannabinoids in yeast or algae using synthetic biology, turning brewers and bioengineers into the next generation of cannabis producers. This wouldn't be science fiction, it's already happening. Companies today are working on biosynthesizing THC and CBD without a single cannabis plant. A shortage could accelerate those efforts dramatically, pushing funding and attention toward lab-grown cannabinoids and pharmaceutical alternatives. Governments and universities, once hesitant to fund cannabis research, might suddenly see it as essential. New grant programs could emerge, regulatory barriers might fall, and cannabis, once on the fringe of academia, could become a central figure in plant science, pharmacology, and climate-resilient agriculture. Meanwhile, industrial hemp, Cannabis's non-psychoactive cousin could rise in value. Hemp can be used for textiles, biofuels, packaging, and even building materials. With traditional cannabis in short supply, farmers might pivot to hemp as an economic and ecological alternative. But with rapid innovation comes ethical questions. Who owns the patents for lab-grown cannabis? Will synthetic weed be safe? And will small farmers and legacy growers be left behind in a biotech arms race? A global marijuana shortage would be a crisis, but also a catalyst for science, for agriculture, for innovation, because when nature runs dry, human ingenuity steps in.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on a notification bell so you never miss an upload. It helps the channel a ton and lets me know you're enjoying what I do. Also make sure to like the video and comment your opinion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.